Hello everybody, welcome to Food and Falsetto. How is your Sunday going? Good, I hope. No sir. Sorry, buddy's already getting into mischief. Really though, this was my fault because I left a paper towel in his reach on the counter and, well, Buddy loves stealing paper towels. So, hi Craig, hi John, welcome. Tonight we are going to make Dock of the Bay pasta. You like the name? I thought it was cute. So did Jen. Happy Sunday. Hi Howie. So Dock of the Bay pasta is essentially a seafood pasta made with things that you would find in the bay or the lagoons, like mussels and bay scallops. Yes. I feel like since I'm doing Dock of the Bay pasta tonight too, I'm gonna have to sing the Dock of the Bay song at some point later. I mean, it's only a necessity, right? How's everybody doing? I just turned on the stove because right now I have 1.5 sticks of butter, so that's 3/4 cups of butter that have to melt in the pan. A lot of butter, you might say, but I'm making a white wine reduction sauce, and white wine reduction sauces have a lot of butter in them. Awesome. Tin Pan South is my favorite festival. I'm good. I have had a busy weekend. Working on my book and meetings for that and real estate stuff and music stuff for the new project. Not just dealing with mixes, but dealing with cover art and stuff this last week. Buddy? You missed him. I'm sorry. I tried to turn it so you could see him, but he was trying to get my tea, or he was at least curious about it. The butter is melting. Bear with me. Hi, Matthew. Hi, Leah. But yeah, so I've been really busy, and I'm tired but good. Tired but happy. I actually did a little bit of relaxation earlier because self-care is important. And I took a hot bath before Food and Falsetto tonight. It'd be great to see you when you're out here. I'm drinking some tea tonight too. It is freezing here. It has been in the 60s, 70s. It even got into the 80s last week. And then today it's in the 30s and there's a chance of snow. So I commiserate with you, Craig. I know you said it was snowing a lot in New Jersey. It's probably snowing a lot where Leah is too. Okay, so I'm making a white wine reduction sauce for this, and I'm starting with melting the butter, which is a lot of butter, and the pan is heating up, so 1.5 sticks of butter in the process of melting as we speak. 1.5 sticks is 3/4 cups of butter, in case you were wondering what the actual measurement was, because sticks of butter can vary. I'll stick with my hot tea. I do like whiskey. I'm kind of a whiskey connoisseur of sorts. However, I do not like Jack Daniels. I prefer most of the bourbons, and I like a slightly sweeter whiskey like a Maker's Mark or a Bullet Bourbon or an Eagle Rare. Not Jack, which has really got quite a bitter flavor. Anyway. Oh, look at all the buttery goodness, y'all. It's still melting. It looks like so much, and yet it will probably be just the right amount. So I'm melting this butter. I have pre-chopped garlic. It's like 3 or 4 really big cloves of garlic, so I'll measure it out as I put it in. I'm not sure exactly what that means in terms of tablespoons until I measure it. But we've got the butter melting. We've got the garlic chopped. This is not going to happen until toward the end, but we're going to be adding some cherry tomatoes. That's the word I couldn't remember. We're going to be adding some cherry tomatoes and some fresh sliced basil at the end. But that's going to be to toss in with everything at the very end because we want to keep some color and some fresh flavor when all is said and done. Oh yeah, I also need to do the pasta, and I almost forgot. Y'all, pasta is like the thing I suck at the most. I know it's funny, but just cooking the pasta, such a simple thing is what I struggle with. Because here's the thing. I never know how much pasta to put in to make the right amount. Hi, Jerry. Like, how do you know how much pasta serves how many people? And then other than that, it's pretty much just a patience game of actually watching it or timing it. Like this, that seems like a lot of pasta to me, but I bet it's not. I bet that's not. The more pasta, the merrier. I'm gonna start with this, and I'm gonna break it in half because that's the other thing. Oh goodness. You know, it doesn't always go all the way under the water with the first amount. I mean, if you leave them the full size. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 of the size I just did because they will expand, and since they're being broken in half, I can always make more pasta later. Buddy thinks he's gonna indulge and try some, since little pieces of it just went everywhere. I would need 2 boxes if I had you as a guest. I mean, they never really explain the serving size, ever. This is the Barilla gluten-free pasta. Now, I've tried a lot of gluten-free pasta. My favorite is the Barilla. It's the most normal as far as texture and everything goes. I don't feel like I'm eating a gluten-free pasta. It doesn't get soggy. It doesn't break into bits. It's a really good texture. And it apparently is corn flour, rice, and rice flour pretty much. That's pretty much it. But it's a good one. Okay, so I'm heating up the water for the pasta. It's just on high, set to boil. Hi, Keenan, welcome. 1.5 for you, and 1/2 for me. Yeah, it is. I just put in about half. Well, maybe 2/3. I have to do gluten-free or else I get sick. And there are only a few brands that really do gluten-free pasta, and a lot of them are not very good. Okay, so we've got the butter going. I am going to add the wine now. So when you do a white wine reduction, I really like using a Chardonnay. I don't know if you can see the label. This is a Chardonnay. It doesn't have to be a good quality wine like this. It doesn't have to be a good drinking wine. It just has to have that kind of oaky or buttery flavor. I like Chardonnay because it tends to be more buttery and more oaky and not on the sharp fruity side, which Pinot Grigios and things like that are. So I'm gonna put in a whole cup of Chardonnay. And I'm just gonna let that simmer a little bit. And as that simmers, I will add garlic. I also am gonna be adding capers. I couldn't figure out what he was crunching on, and then I realized it was pasta. You can, well, I'm gonna need a serving gauge for measuring pasta then, I guess. If you have a few glasses before adding the wine to the pasta, then you won't taste the difference. Probably true. Although, I don't know, I have a pretty good palate. Hi, Jasmine. I'm glad it sounds good, John. Okay, I don't think I missed any other comments. Okay, so I'm gonna be adding capers. I don't know if you're very familiar with capers. They sort of have a pickly flavor, but in a seafood way that's just delicious. Really good with smoked salmon too. So I'm gonna be adding some capers. The challenge with these, mind you, is that it's a very small bottle. I'm gonna do like, okay, I just did 2 heaping teaspoons of capers. It looked like I grabbed 4. That's because I did. I had to use the 1/2 teaspoon to fit it in the bottle. But I like getting this kind where it's the small capers, not the large ones. I know you haven't been on for a while, huh? The nonpareil capers. They're delicious. Hi, Scott. Welcome. So we have butter, 3/4 cups of butter, 1 full cup of white wine, and 2 teaspoons of capers simmering right now in our pan. We're basically doing a white wine reduction sauce. It means what it sounds like. We're going to reduce it. So basically we just have to keep cooking it for quite a while. Now I'm going to start measuring out the garlic that I pre-chopped here. There's a lot of garlic in this, so much easier if you have a food processor to do the garlic in the food processor. Here's 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. I'm going to mix that in and see how well evenly distributed it is. So I really like garlic. This is going to be a really garlicky dish. If you don't really like garlic, I would probably not put quite this much in. You could probably stop at the 2 tablespoons. I am about to do a 1/3. Yes, that is right. I'm about to put 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic into this. So it's going to be very garlicky. But I'm a big fan of shrimp scampi and dishes like that, and those are basically garlic white wine reduction sauce, and they're very garlicky. So that's essentially what I'm doing as far as the amount of garlic here. And I have some of the songs that I was looking at stuck in my head as possibilities for tonight. So we've got, I have to make sure I didn't get any garlic on the floor because Buddy is like my vacuum cleaner right now. I'm throwing pieces of the food processor around, just thought you should know. Hi, Tim. Good for you doing that, Jasmine. That's awesome. I feel like I've missed. Hi, Robert. Okay. I don't think I missed too many. That's good. I said hi to Tim. I said hi to Robert. Hi, Mom. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to move this out of the way now. So my friend Jen decided since I got the wine out, she was going to pour herself a glass. And she thought, you know what? I'm going to put it in the freezer because wine in the freezer gets cold faster. And then she kind of forgot about it, and we have wine ice. I told her she should just like throw it in the blender with a couple of frozen raspberries, make a frosé. Hi Claire, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you on here before. Finished working on a new Christmas song with Ashton Lane. Awesome. I have been working on lots of new songs with different co-writers recently. Buddy is still finding little pieces of pasta to chew on. So we have currently, for those of you who've just joined, 3/4 cups of butter, which in normal sticks in the US is 1.5 sticks of butter. So that's melted down in there. I put 1 cup of Chardonnay, white wine, in there, and 2 teaspoons, heaping teaspoons of capers, and 3 tablespoons of garlic. Yes, that's right, 3 tablespoons. I really meant that. I really like my garlic. A lot of people like garlic, and it's really good for you, but if you are not as big a garlic eater as me, I would put a little bit less in. Where did I put my salt? There it is. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm just gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to start here though. I don't wanna over salt it. It's gonna have a lot of flavor on its own. And once it reduces a little bit, I'll taste it again. Might add more, but I'm going to start with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, 3 tablespoons garlic. I'm just going to catch myself up really fast here. 2 teaspoons heaping. 1 cup white wine. Okay, we're all caught up. You see, when I do these recipes on here, I pretty much recipe test and I create them as I go with you guys. So I have to write them down at the same time, otherwise I won't remember. Looking, does that mean yummy? I don't know that term. Buddy is there to help me. He's waiting. He is waiting for the scraps. He's my cleaning crew tonight. He is my dust buster. Aren't you? Bud, say hi. Yeah, you good boy, huh? There's your little buddy spam for the evening. Okay, so we are literally just reducing this and simmering it. I am actually going to add the seafood goodies now, though, because they need to be cooked. So I'm going to add the mussels first. There are too many things in one place right now. I'm trying to get the pasta out of the way. There are more scraps for you to get, bud. Okay, so I'm going to put the mussels in first. I don't know what the exact measurement is of these without looking, but I got a pack of them. I have to check the box to see how many ounces. I need my scissors. So these have some of their natural juices in them, but they're not seasoned. They're just plain mussels. They're frozen. They have to be cooked to open, though. So the rule of thumb, if you're cooking clams or mussels or anything like that, if when you're done cooking them, they don't open, you don't eat the ones that don't open. Okay, I'm gonna pull that out. Okay, so I just tossed the mussels in there. And I'm gonna put the lid on while these cook. Mix them in. So I'm calling this Dock of the Bay pasta. They're already starting to open, that's great. I'm calling this Dock of the Bay pasta because the ingredients, well, at least the seafood ingredients, are things you would find in the bay. They are mussels and bay scallops. And I grew up on a lagoon. Hi, Stephen, welcome. Dog, dirt devil, vacuum. Yes, that is what he is. I grew up on a lagoon when I was a kid. A lagoon is a little inlet off the river, and the river that it was Petaluma River, so it connected to the ocean and the bay actually as well. And we had not scallops. We had mussels actually on the edge of our dock. And they have them in the bay also. The mussels will attach to docks and rocks in the area in the bay. And then scallops are another shellfish actually, even though you wouldn't know it because scallops are always taken out of their shell beforehand. These are bay scallops. There are ocean scallops too, which are larger, but these ones are the bay scallops, so they're a little bit smaller. So we've got 1.5 sticks of butter, which is 3/4 cups. We have 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic. I really like my garlic. We have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Nope. Yes, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We have 2 heaping teaspoons of capers, and that is all simmering in there. Since the mussels are opening pretty quickly, I am going to add the scallops right away. By the way, we obviously don't have easy fresh seafood in Tennessee, so I did get these frozen. As long as things are flash frozen, they actually still taste pretty good. So if you don't have access to fresh seafood that's like straight out of the bay or the ocean, then doing the frozen, flash frozen version is a great option. That is what I am doing. So I'm gonna let those simmer a little, and while those are simmering, hi Estelle, welcome. I haven't seen you in forever. Waiting for pasta to make your day. I love it. Okay, now while that is simmering, okay, so now the water is boiling, which means I can toss the pasta in. Oh my goodness. This is why I suck at making pasta, because it's falling more on the floor than into the container. Buddy's happy though. Okay, I'm gonna set the timer on the microwave. Timer set, 10 minutes, start. Oh, not seconds, clear. Timer set, 10, 0, start. Okay, so the pasta's in cooking. I'm actually gonna add a little splash of olive oil to the water. It'll help it keep it from sticking together. I like using Barilla gluten-free pasta. There aren't a lot of very good gluten-free pastas. A lot of them turn to mush and fall apart because they're just rice or they're lentil or something, and frankly, they turn to mush pretty easily. The Barilla is good. It's a mix of corn and rice, and it holds its own, and it really tastes just like normal pasta. So that's my favorite to do gluten-free with. You might hear Buddy crunching in the background. He's picking up those little pieces of noodle that are uncooked that I dropped on the floor. He's helping me out. So the pasta's cooking. The sauce and seafood is simmering. I have it, the stove, by the way, set to 5.5 or 6. So that's just kind of a medium-high heat. Really, when I added the frozen, it kind of slowed the simmer, so it's not really hot yet. If it picks up and it starts boiling more, I will turn it down a little bit, because the idea is that we want to let it simmer so that it slowly reduces, because we're making a white wine reduction sauce. Here's more, bud. Okay, well, that is simmering and the pasta is cooking. I'm gonna move on to the pieces that we're gonna add at the end. So I like adding a little bit of freshness to the dishes I make. And pasta especially, it's nice to have a little bit of brightness and freshness at the end, because pasta can be kind of a heavy dish, especially if you're working with like an Alfredo or a heavy butter sauce or beurre blanc, or sometimes a white wine reduction is pretty heavy too if it's a lot of butter. So it's nice to add a little bit of brightness at the end as it's finishing up cooking, with some fresh greens and a little bit of acid with a little bit of tomato. So I'm going to slice up this fresh basil. Oh, it smells so good. And when the sauce is pretty much done, I'm gonna add this in and mix it in so that you get little bites of a brightness and freshness with the basil while you eat the pasta. I'm just plucking it off the stems. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm also going to be adding cherry tomatoes, and I'm just going to halve those. And I'm gonna toss those in at the end too. So they'll get a little wilted and warm, but you will still have the brightness of the fresh flavor because they won't be fully cooked. So when you add that brightness, it just cuts through the heaviness of the dish a little bit and adds a little color and a little extra brightness and flavor so that it cuts through the weight. Got your supper, and bam, bam, nice. Yeah, I like Barilla pasta a lot. It is a good brand. It's probably the best that you can get without making your own, if you're talking gluten-free at least. There are some other good brands that are like hand-cut pasta, or, you know, that's not dry, but I can't do those because of the gluten-free thing, so. I'm just gonna slice these tomatoes in half so that they're ready to be tossed in at the end and wilted. Okay, so now we've got a nice simmer back. Oh yes. Oh, and I can smell the seafood now as it's cooking. It smells so good, y'all. So So I'm opening the lid now that it's simmering a little bit again, and these are cooked because I want this sauce to reduce, and if the lid's on, it won't reduce the same way. So I'm going to leave the lid off while it reduces, and I'm going to continue slicing these tomatoes in half. I'm doing cherry tomatoes. They have a slightly sweet and bright flavor. They're lower acidity usually than a lot of tomatoes too, which is nice because you get a little bit of an acid brightness without too much acidity. Plus that little bit of sweetness. It's just the fresh sweetness. So I'm literally just taking these cherry tomatoes and I'm slicing them in half so that they're ready to toss in the sauce at the end. The pasta's cooking. I put it on for 10 minutes because the box recommended 10 to 11 minutes for al dente. And God knows it's going to take me a second to turn it off and get it ready once the timer goes off. So I set it for 10 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to slice the basil because I want the basil to be in some thin strips so that it ends up in the pasta in these little strips. That way you just get a little spot of brightness, a little spot of fresh, a little bit of color, without getting the full basil leaf, but you get a little strip of it, add to your bites. Plus it'll help it go a little bit further in the dish when it gets mixed in. I'm sort of discarding the stems. I mean, if the stems are pretty small and they're attached to the leaf, it's not a big deal, but the pieces here that I'm cutting through, and after I get through the strip there's a little stem left, I'm not putting in because there's really no point. Darcy, my bunny, used to love basil. He would wait for basil and parsley and cilantro, and he would even eat the stems. It was one of his favorite things. So I would save scraps for him too. Loved it. So this is simmering. You know, I honestly don't know. I am like the ultimate home chef, which means I'm really good with flavors and I'm a total foodie, but I know nothing about official kitchen stuff. It says Miracle Blade 3, the Perfection series. I can tell you, and it's a stainless steel knife, I can tell you that this is one of my favorites because it's really sharp, it's got a nice serrated edge, it's good for cutting things like melon, avocado, and stuff like this. It's great for things where you need a really sharp knife, and it's easily maneuverable. Whereas, you know, a lot of things, I mean, I could use a chopping knife for this, but since I'm slicing these in strips, it's a little bit easier to use this kind of knife. It's malleable, it's smaller, it's not as awkward, and with the big one I'd have to chop. This allows me to slice, which is great. Buddy's apparently still finding pieces of pasta to crunch on. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Elena. Welcome. Bam Bam's your helper tonight, too. We got the furry helpers. Buddy's helping me clean up the pasta on the floor. Bam Bam's helping you watch the show. I'll measure this basil once I have it all chopped here. I got, you know the little plastic packages you get at the grocery store in the refrigerator section? It's not so easy to find a basil plant or anything these days, so that's where I got the basil. And I got 2 packets of it, and I used pretty much 1.5. I haven't measured it out, but I will do that once it's all chopped here. So you have a better idea of how much basil I'm putting in. But honestly, with home cooking, if you really like a certain flavor, like, oh my gosh, you love basil, you can always add more. It's not gonna hurt your dish to add some extra fresh basil. It won't change the flavor too much. It'll just add an extra spin of the flavor that you really like. Now, things like salt or garlic powder in the dish, that kind of stuff, it will drastically change the flavor of the dish. But when you're talking about some of this stuff on the finish, it won't, it's just gonna be an extra pop of flavor. So if you love basil, you can put more in. I love basil, but you know, you can only get so much in those little plastic packages. It's still gonna be quite a bit. That was my pasta. I have to figure out now how to get it out of this because I don't have a proper colander. This will be fun. Okay. I am gonna put the lid on it and try to pour it out that way. Some of it. I don't want the pasta to get overcooked. Here we go. This would be a lot easier if I had a colander, but these pots do have nifty holes in the top to help for people like me who are unprepared for pasta cooking. I really don't think about needing a colander for pasta until I'm at this point where I've already cooked it and realize I have no way to easily strain it. It is not fully drained, but it's pretty close. Let's see. Oh, sorry, bud. I didn't mean to hit you. He just got knocked with the tripod. Hi, sweetie. Are you okay? Yeah. Not like he got hit hard, don't worry. It didn't hurt him, it just startled him. Okay. Just gonna put the fork through this a little bit. I will drain that more in a second, but I wanted to get back over here to this. It's off the heat, so it's not continuing to cook. So I'm still just slicing this basil. I'm going to measure it out in a second here. That's reducing nicely, getting nicely cooked up. Probably could have actually cooked this sauce a little bit longer without adding the seafood. I was concerned about not getting the mussels to open, but they opened very quickly. So, when you make this yourself, if you decide to, take a little more time than I did reducing the sauce, because I'm probably going to end up with some pretty chewy bay scallops when this is all said and done. Partially because these were frozen, so they put some water in the pan as well, so it's not reducing as quickly by any stretch of the imagination. Because there's a lot more fluid in here now than there was. So I would just take that into account and reduce the sauce a lot on its own first. I'm actually going to turn this up a little bit so it reduces a little bit faster. And continue chopping this basil. Well, chopping, slicing the basil. I'm going to continue slicing the basil. So, what is your favorite Italian dish, everybody? Star Chef, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm certainly not a trained chef, but I definitely have an adept palate because I really love food. I really think that the thing you need the most to be a good chef is a love for food and flavor, because that allows creativity in the kitchen. And no one ever said you had to follow a recipe exactly. You can always taste as you go and adjust. I actually used to never do recipes for what I cooked. I would have a basic recipe, but I would basically just cook by sight and smell and taste. So I never measured things out. And my family is pretty sad about that because I've made some pretty amazing soups and things that they will never have exactly the same again. So I do try to measure things out now as I go. So that, well, I don't just try, I actually do measure them as I go, so that they can be replicated. I actually worked for a family for a while, cooking alternative food for them. When I say alternative food, I mean gluten-free, mostly paleo, and it was recipe testing. So I essentially was creating recipes that she would share on her blog. She would give me a basic recipe that wasn't gluten-free or paleo, and then I would adjust it until we got it right. So that's kind of what I'm doing with you guys. But that really got me to start writing everything down. So that was definitely a good experience. I'm frustrated with myself for putting the seafood in so early, because the amount of ice in it is really making it hard for the sauce to reduce any faster. Which isn't a horrible thing, it's just that reduction sauce is supposed to be kind of a thicker texture so that it coats all the pasta. Right now it's a little soupier because of all the ice that was in the seafood packs. See? So, let's measure out this basil, shall we? So there's 1/2 cup. So there are 3/4 cups of sliced basil. So this is a 1/4 cup. So we have 3/4 cups of sliced basil here to add at the very end for brightness. I'm just gonna write that down. Okay, let's measure out the tomatoes too, shall we? So these are half, so it's going to be a little different every time. But we have a 1/2 cup there, probably about a whole cup with this. Yep. Okay, so we've got 1 cup of these halved cherry tomatoes. I have to check on the amount of scallops and mussels because those were in certain ounce packages. Now I'm going to drain the pasta the rest of the way. Oops. I'm going to need an oven mitt. I'll be right back. I'm just going to drain this at the sink. Okay. I'm a little torn because this is taking a lot longer to reduce since we added this ice from the mussels and scallops in. So I'm kind of tempted to let it cook while I do some songs, but normally you would not want to leave a reduction sauce just simmering on the stove without watching it. So I'm torn. I am torn. Hi, Erin. Welcome. I work with Aaron doing real estate stuff. It is reducing a little bit now, though. It's a little less soupy. So we've got our base scallops and our mussels in there, and our butter and caper and white wine, and lots of garlic. I didn't make a ton of pasta. Like I said, I'm suck at measuring it, but this is probably enough for 2 people. Y'all can use your pasta measurement tools. I have no idea how to do that. Was it Jerry that said there's a way to measure serving size on pasta? I don't make pasta enough to ever know. I really need to get one of those. So we have, what? I need a colander and I need that. I never think of these things until I'm cooking with you guys for Food and Falsetto. Okay, I'm gonna leave this to simmer while we go and sing probably one song. That's probably all we're gonna have time for before I have to come back and check on it, and then we'll do the rest of the songs. But we've got this simmering and reducing. We've got our tomatoes and basil ready to go in there. I want the song. I can think really well tonight, clearly. I want the sauce to thicken quite a bit before I add the tomatoes and basil, because tomatoes have quite a bit of fluid in them too, and that's gonna thin it out probably. So I want the sauce to pretty much take form before that. So I was going through songs that I had done for, what's it called? Songs that I had done for Song Roulette a long time ago. I don't know if you guys ever tuned in for Song Roulette, but basically it was like an all request half hour to hour of songs where I played pretty much anything anyone requested, but they had to request them ahead by at least one day, so I had time to pull them up and kind of fake it. But I saw this song, which I haven't heard in forever, pretty much since I sang it the first time. But I really liked it, and I feel like it kind of is appropriate with, well, my mission, I'll just say, because, you know, the new album is to raise awareness for domestic abuse, along with just being like my journal or diary on music. But this song is about domestic abuse, really, and leaving an abusive situation, if you really pay attention to the lyrics. This one is a Little Big Town song that they did, I guess 2 years ago now. Gosh, I can't believe that it was 2 years ago that this song was requested. And I sang it, but I'm sure it was because I was still in the condo at that point, and I'm not now. I know I'm probably better off on my own than loving a man who didn't know what he had when he had it. And I see the permanent damage you did to me. Never again, I just wish I could forget when it was magic. I wish it wasn't 4 a.m. standing in the mirror saying to myself, you know you had to do it. I know the bravest thing I ever did was run. Sometimes in the middle of the night I can feel you again, and I just miss you, and I wish you were a better man. And I know why we had to say goodbye like the back of my hand. I just miss you, and I wish you were a better man. Better man. I know I'm probably better off all alone than needing a man who could change his mind at any given minute. It's always on your terms. I'm hanging on every it's some kind of loaded gun. Boy, you never thought I'd run. Sometimes in the middle of the night I can feel you again, but I just miss you and I just wish you were a better man. And I know why we had to say goodbye like the back of my hand. I just miss you and I just wish you were a better man. A better man. I hold on to this pride, 'cause these days it's all I have. And I gave you my best. We both know you can't say that. You can't say that. I wish you were a better man. I wonder what we would have become if you were a better man. We might still be in love if you were a better man. You would have been the one if you were a better man. Yeah. Sometimes in the middle of the night I can feel you again, but I just miss you and I just wish you were a better man. And I know why we had to say goodbye like the back of my hand, but I just miss you and I just wish you were a better man. A better man. We might still be in love if you were a better man. A better man. Thank you, John. Hi, Doug. I might have said hi to you before I started playing. I can't remember. I don't know if you guys could see Buddy slowly untying me while I was singing that, but he loves untying my aprons while I'm playing or just standing. Okay, let's go check on that pasta, shall we? Oh, it's pretty well reduced. I'm gonna stir it and see where we're at. Oh yeah, looking good. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down lower. See, I wanna show you. See how it reduced a lot? It's not so soupy now, it's a thicker sauce. I'm gonna toss the tomatoes in now. And then the basil over the top, stir it up, and we have a dish, folks. Just gonna mix those tomatoes in. I love that song, I really do. It's funny because I obviously did not write it. That's a little big town song, but it could pretty much be an autobiography of the relationship I was in my 20s. Early 20s. Right out of college. That's the thing about abuse that a lot of people don't understand. It's not bad all the time. There are good moments and sweet moments, especially in the beginning, and then it just dissolves and disintegrates and gets worse over time. And the good moments become fewer and far between, and the bad moments get worse. And you just kind of get numb and used to it until you finally reach your breaking point, have had enough, and get out. So there we have it. I'm going to turn that off. So it's going to simmer a little bit more with the tomatoes and stuff in there, but those are really just for the brightness, to have that with the bite, and then I'm going to mix it all in with the pasta. Hi Dennis, welcome. Hi Tommy. So you caught the tail end of the cooking here. We're going to be mixing this in with the pasta, but this is just mussels, bay scallops, and a white wine reduction sauce tossed with fresh basil and fresh halved cherry tomatoes. Okay. Let's see what we have for you next, shall we? Since it's Sunday, I would like to do a worship tune or two. I'm sure Buddy is going to untie my apron yet again while we are doing this. I'm drinking this yummy yogi tea that's a detox tea. Okay. I did pull up an old school tune that I really enjoyed back in the day. So this kind of relates to the sermon we heard at church this morning, which was basically about how we can have as much closeness with God as we want, because as long as we seek him and reach out for the closeness, he loves us. And he loves us all the same, but how much love we receive is really about how much we're able to receive and how much we want. And I would say it's the same for a lot of relationships, except for the unhealthy ones, of course. But if you're in a healthy relationship with someone, friendship or otherwise, you can only receive as much love as you're willing to. But if you continue to give of yourself and receive, it's this really nice mutual symbiotic relationship. But while he was talking, I thought of this older song. It's an old worship tune that I haven't sung or heard in quite a while, so I thought it'd be fun to do tonight. In the secret, in the quiet place, in the stillness you are there. In the secret, in the quiet hour I wait only for you, 'cause I want to know you more. I want to know you. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you more. I want to touch you. I want to see your face. I want to know you more. I am reaching for the highest goal, that I might receive the prize. Pressing onward, pushing every hindrance aside, out of my way, 'cause I want to know you more. Are you having fun? Now that you've yanked my apron open and you're pulling on the tab or string, well, the tie. This is what I put up with, this goofball. I think out of food and falsetto tradition, it might be time for me to take the apron off just so he stops tugging at my back. Oh my goodness. Give it up. Give it up. You have your own chew toys. You have your own. Leave the apron alone. Chew on your chew. He got a spaghetti and meatball chew the other day that he should be perfectly happy with, but he obviously wants my attention. Thank you, Leah. Hi, Dennis. I think I already said hi to you, actually. I didn't miss that. Yeah. You like that? That's what I put up with while I'm playing, is him tugging at my apron strings. Okay. Since we did make Dock of the Bay pasta tonight, I feel like I should sing a little bit of Dock of the Bay. How about y'all? Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes. Oh, watching the ships roll in, then I watch them roll away again. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, 'cause I had nothing to live for, felt like nothing gonna come my way. Now I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Looks like nothing's gonna change, and There we go. That's in honor of Dock of the Bay pasta. So someone, I think it might have been John, actually requested last week, I Will Always Love You. I figured I could do that one again. It went better than I expected last week, so why not? I'm just gonna get a sip of my tea first. Is everybody staying warm tonight? It got cold here again. I'm assuming it did the same in a lot of places. Oh my goodness, we have a 3-year-old crying in the background. I don't know why, but... If I should stay, well, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, and yet I know that I'll think of you each step of my way. And I will always love you. Will always love you. Will always love you. Bittersweet memories, that's all I have, and I'm taking with me. So goodbye, please don't cry, 'cause we both know that I'm not what you need, but I will always love you. Will always love you. And I hope life will treat you kind, and I hope that you have all you ever dreamed of, and I do wish you joy, and I wish you happiness, but above all, I wish you love, and I will always love you. I will always love you. Will always love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Well, thank you, John. Okay. What next? What next? I almost Chasing the Rain, y'all. This one, for those of you who haven't been live before and are just joining me, is one of my originals. This song is actually on my new album. Of course, that is a very different version of this song because it's got guitar and bass and drums and piano and all the things. So, but this is called Chasing the Rain. Your smile and your heart feel like home, always warm like the sun. Together this heavy world feels light, full of laughter. She's pulled you back to a sky that's dark with clouds, but you're someone I don't want to live without. We fought so hard and long, need a reprieve from the storm still. The thunder rages on. I keep praying you'll run for shelter, but you're caught in a hurricane. There are blessings waiting. You keep fighting in vain. When will you stop chasing the rain? Wading through the lies to find the truth. This isn't justice, this isn't you. And you're the greatest man I've ever known, but she's refused to let you go. And you're the only one welcome. So that was one of my songs called Chasing the Rain. That one is on the new album when it comes out. Not quite ready yet. Thanks, John. I'm gonna pull up on my computer one that I wrote a few months ago. I just opened the wrong window. Let's see, where is it? So I wrote this song a few months ago. It's funny the things we're inspired by sometimes, because this song was literally inspired by me just sitting down at the piano playing and kind of hearing the sound of a train whistle. And I thought it'd be really cool to write a song that had like a train whistle in the beginning and the end. And it was called Runaway Train. So I did. I kind of stored the song idea away, and one day I was just working on some writing exercises. I know that sounds funny, but when you sing and write professionally, you kind of have to write even when you're not fully inspired. So I thought, well, I'm going to do a free write of this idea. That's kind of my favorite way to work, is I take an idea and I'll do a free write all around it. And a free write means like some of it makes zero sense, y'all. Like it can be grammatically incorrect. I could repeat things a few times, whatever. It is like stream of conscious writing and just typing the whole time. But sometimes when I go to do that, a song kind of comes out, manifests itself. And that was sort of the case with this. I started sort of doing a free write, and I'm like, wait, I think that's a first verse. And before I knew it, I'd written the whole song. So this is called Runaway Train. She can't hide it. Everything came crashing down, and she's standing in silence with the wreckage all around. So many years of lies and tears just crumble at her feet. The home she thought she'd build was built on nothing. They say it's alright, but she knows they're not right. So she's packed a bag, just enough to get by. She's taken off and hitched a ride on a runaway, 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 runaway train. She can't see his face, but the memories just won't fade. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. Thinks she'll outrun the past, but she's going nowhere fast. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. There is no way to escape the pain on a runaway train. She can't hold on, 'cause there's nothing left to hold, with every promise broken. And as love run cold, for better or for worse, but it was worse every day. There's nothing left to do, nothing left to say. She's tired of the fight, and she knows it's not right. So she's packed a bag, just enough to get by. She's taken off and hitched a ride on a runaway, 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 runaway train. She can't see but the memories just won't fade. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. Think she'll outrun the past, but she's going nowhere fast. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. There is no way to escape the pain on a runaway train. Doesn't matter where you go, 'cause there you'll be. Doesn't matter if you're home or running free. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. She can't see his face, but the memories just won't fade. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. Think she'll outrun the past, but she's going nowhere fast. On a runaway, 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 runaway train. There is no way to escape the pain on a runaway, a runaway, a runaway train. Thank you, Leah. Hi, Amber. Okay, I'm gonna do one more song. I'm gonna do Believe Again to finish us out tonight. And then I'm gonna go eat my dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed the evening. I look forward to seeing you next week. This song is the first single for the new album. It has released in the UK and Europe, and it actually went to radio there and charted, but it has not been released here in the US yet. So this is called Believe Again. Little girl staring at the sky, I saw God in every shining star. Back when dreams seemed so easy, long before life got this hard. All it took was a wish back then, but now my faith is wearing thin. 'Cause how can you trust when your life is shattered? How can you stand when you're on your knees? How can you hold it all together? Pretend to be strong when all you feel is weak. How can you hope when you're feeling hopeless? How can you pray when you can't speak? Where do you begin? When you're learning to believe again. Take a breath and a step forward. Peel the layers back one by one. Trying to unpack the pain and reverse the damage that's been done. If it's a test I don't want to fail, by God I need a little help. 'Cause how can you trust when Pretend to be strong when all you feel is weak. How can you hope when you're feeling hopeless? How can you pray when you can't speak? Where do you begin? When you're learning to believe again. Cause I do believe. But how can you trust when your life is shattered? How can you stand when you're on your knees? How can you hold it all together? Pretend to be strong when all you feel is weak. How can you hope when you're feeling hopeless? How can you pray when you can't speak? Where do you begin? When you're learning to believe again. I believe that I can stand when I'm on my knees, that I can hold it all together, that I can be strong when all I feel is weak. I believe that I can pray when I can't speak. Where do you begin? When you're learning to believe again. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. 'Cause I'm learning to believe again. Thank you, Amber and Leah. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a night, y'all, because I still have my dinner to eat. But if you didn't tune in until now, I'm about to post it, and you can rewind and go back as far as you want, whether it's to the cooking or to the music, and watch it from there. Anyway, I hope you guys have a really good night. It's always fun doing this with you. Happy Sunday. Have a great week, and I will see you next week at 6:30. Bon appetit. Bye.